This is Schaffhausen, a quiet riverside town in northern Switzerland, and in this video we're gonna find out how this peaceful little town became a thriving medieval trading hub and later the center of Swiss industry, driven by the force of the Rhine River, clever use of water power and the vision of a few determined pioneers. We will also explore how this story connects to IWC, one of the world's most iconic watchmakers. Along the way, we will stroll through the picturesque old town, check out its colorful architecture and climb up to the fortress that's been keeping an eye on this town for centuries. We will also visit some local farmers markets, check out what's on offer and try a few local treats. Of course, we won't miss the spectacular Rhine Falls, the largest waterfall in Europe. And to round things off, we will venture into residential neighborhoods beyond the usual tourist spots for a more authentic glimpse of local life. So let's get started. Schaffhausen is a historic town known for its well-preserved medieval architecture and its industrial heritage. It has a population of around 37,000 people and is located in the north of Switzerland, near the German border. So, before Schaffhausen became the center of trade and industry, it began to take real shape during the early medieval period. The Allerheiligen Abbey was founded around the year 1045 and it marked a turning point, transforming the area into a spiritual center and laying the groundwork for urban development. As a Benedictine institution, the abbey was more than a place of worship. The monks cultivated vineyards, managed surrounding lands, and copied manuscripts by hand. Their presence attracted other settlers, slowly forming a town. By the 12th century, Allerheiligen Abbey had become a powerful force, forging ties with the Holy Roman Empire. But its influence began to fade in the late Middle Ages. The rise of secular authorities and shifting political dynamics gradually eroded the abbey's control. Then came the Reformation. In 1529, Schaffhausen officially adopted Protestantism and the abbey was dissolved. Its spiritual role ended, but the building remained, it was repurposed and today stands as one of the town's most important landmarks. Inside the former abbey, you will find the Münster Church, a Romanesque church that remains the town's spiritual center long after the abbey was dissolved. Stepping inside, a striking contrast comes to life. The warm tones of the wooden benches and the ceiling stand out against the cool grey stone walls and the soaring pillars. Just a short walk from the abbey, you might stumble upon the Reformed Church of St. Johann. It's a quiet symbol of the Reformation because it was originally built in a Romanesque style, but later stripped down and simplified in line with Protestant values. Let's visit it. As expected, it's noticeably plain compared to many other churches. White walls with minimum decoration, true to the Reformed style. So faith gave Schaffhausen its soul and its meaning, but it was the Rhine River that shaped its fortunes and success. Schaffhausen thrived because of something entirely natural, the Rhine River. And the Rhine Falls just a few kilometers downstream from the town center. These massive falls made the river impossible to navigate by boat, forcing merchants to pull over and unload. All their goods had to be carried over land around the falls, and that detour ran straight through Schaffhausen's backyard. What started as a major headache for river traffic turned out to be a jackpot for the town's economy. Schaffhausen turned into a busy trading hub, with salt from Tyrol and local wine flowing through its markets. As trade flourished, protecting the town and its growing wealth became a military necessity. And this brings us to the next significant landmark. This is the Munot Fortress, sitting on a hill like Schaffhausen's stone crown. Massive, round, and impossible to miss, unless you're somehow walking around with your eyes closed. You can literally see it from almost everywhere. Let's go up there and visit the Munot Fortress. Construction began in 1564 during a time when the nature of warfare was getting a major upgrade. The invention of gunpowder was changing the game and old-school medieval castles just couldn't keep up anymore. The Munot was built according to the latest ideas in military engineering, a round bastion with thick walls, deep moats and sweeping lines of sight designed to withstand artillery fire. Inside the Munot, I step into a cool, shadowy room, which feels like stepping into a fridge after climbing those stairs in the summer heat. And the best thing is that it has a public rooftop, so let's go up there. This rooftop offers the best view of the entire town. From up here you can see the old town, the river, and the green hills unfolding in every direction. In summer, this place comes to life. People gather here for concerts, open-air movies, dances and other events. It's more than just a lookout, it's basically the town's open-air living room. But what about its actual purpose? Was it ever useful as a protection against invaders? Ironically, this fortress never saw battle. Its true power was more psychological. As a warning to outsiders and as a reminder to the insiders of their strength and unity. The massive fortress tower still houses the Munot Guard, who traditionally rings the bell every evening at 9 p.m, echoing a custom that dates back to the 16th century. Originally, the bell signaled that the city gates were closing and it was time for residents to extinguish their fires and lights. Today, this ritual lives on. So the town grew into a wealthy trading hub protected by the Munot Fortress for centuries. But this success didn't last forever. When salt was later discovered in Rhine Falls, in a town further down the Rhine, trade routes shifted and Schaffhausen's economy took a hard hit. Many people started leaving this town. But Schaffhausen's story didn't end there. Even as traditional trade declined, the town's connection to the Rhine remained vital. And just as the river once brought trade, it would bring opportunity again, this time in form of power supply, brought by Heinrich Moser. So Heinrich Moser is this gentleman over here. He was a Swiss watchmaker, entrepreneur and an industrial pioneer, born right here in Schaffhausen. In the 1820s, he moved to Russia and founded a luxury watch company in St. Petersburg. After becoming successful and wealthy, he returned to Schaffhausen and played a key role in its industrial development. When Moser returned to Schaffhausen, the town was facing economic difficulties since the trade has collapsed. But Moser saw the potential in the Rhine's unstoppable flow and he had the financial means to do something out of it. In 1866, he built a pioneering water diversion system with a power plant right here in this town. It wasn't a modern hydroelectric plant as they exist today, but a clever setup that channeled the river's energy through canals and turbines to deliver mechanical power directly to local factories. His power plant powered over 30 factories, from mills, fabrics, ceramics, metalworks to one of the city's most iconic names, IWC, which we will talk about in a moment. He also built this beautiful villa behind me, from which he was able to observe the construction progress of his water power plants. It's called Villa Charlottenfels and he named it after his first wife, Charlotte. You can actually see it from the train when arriving in Schaffhausen. To get there, I decided to take a walk from the town center. It took me about half an hour. Guys, this is where Moser used to live. So let's have a little tour on his former property. And Moser lived in this villa until his death in 1874. Today, it houses a museum dedicated to his life and work, which unfortunately didn't seem to be open at the time of my visit. Moser's vision turned Schaffhausen into one of Switzerland's first true industrial powerhouses, using nature not just as scenery but as an engine for growth. Many companies were founded during this time, taking advantage of convenient water power supply. And among them, the watchmaker IWC stands out as Schaffhausen's most iconic brand. Let's go and visit the museum. IWC was founded in 1868 by Florentine Ariosto Jones, an American watchmaker who came to Switzerland with a revolutionary idea to combine Swiss craftsmanship with American industrial methods. While most watchmakers were based in the French-speaking region, working in small workshops, Jones was thinking bigger, mass production using modern machinery. But that required vast power supply. And Schaffhausen had a huge advantage, energy from the river and the newly built power plants. That's why Jones decided to set up his business right here. But things didn't go as planned. Combining American mass production with Swiss craftsmanship turned out to be harder than he thought. There were cultural differences and language barriers didn't help at all. Exporting the watches to the US, which was the original plan, faced tariffs and competition, so the company never turned a profit under its founder. It was only after local investors took over that this business became really successful. Today, IWC is part of the Richmond Group and produces its watches just outside the town center. I took a bus to see the site where these famous timepieces are made. On the way back, the bus was nearly 6 minutes late, which in Switzerland is very unusual. But for it to happen right outside the factory that makes some of the world's most accurate watches, simply outrageous. Anyway, this is just one example of how the Rhine powered Schaffhausen's industry. The river also boosted already established companies that have grown to become global leaders today. Georg Fischer makes metal components and piping systems for cars, airplanes and infrastructure. Nearby, SIG produces packaging for food and drinks right next to the Rhine Falls. All this turned Schaffhausen into a thriving industrial hub, all powered by the river. Today, the legacy still lives on. Where once Moser's power canals used to flow, today we have a modern hydroelectric power plant which still harnesses the energy from the Rhine River in order to power this region. The plant channels the energy of the Rhine River through turbines that generate roughly 200 million kilowatt hours of clean electricity every year. That's enough to supply tens of thousands of Swiss homes. Right next to it, another statue was placed to commemorate Moser's achievements. As you can see, it's not the prettiest water power plant, but you can walk on it. How cool is that? Take a look. This power plant actually feeds into the shared European grid, so part of the electricity even goes to nearby Germany and France. And just a short walk from the Rhine River brings us to the Old Town, a remarkably preserved district where centuries of history are visible on almost every facade. Let's go and explore it. And one of the best places to feel that history is the Fronwagplatz, the central square of this old town. Back in the day, this was the center of commerce and public life. Markets were held here and travelers passing through the city would stop here to trade or rest. The name Fronwag comes from the weighing station that once stood here, where goods were measured and taxed. Today, it's lined with colorful facades, historic guild houses and two elegant fountains that have been here for centuries. One building that stands out is the Fronwag Tower. On the tower's gable you can see an impressive astronomical clock. It displays 10 different pieces of information: the hours, the days of the week, the moon's path through the zodiac signs and much more. Above the Roman numeral 12, a black and gold sphere shows the moon's phases. Just like nowadays, when everybody is getting a tattoo, back in the day people used to paint their buildings. This is the Haus zum Ritter, or the House of the Knights. Its facade is covered in vivid Renaissance murals, the images full of classical symbols and moral lessons. They were meant to reflect wisdom, power and virtue. This was the home of a wealthy merchant during the trade time who clearly wanted to make a statement. But it's not the only one. Here's a few more examples. Check out this building here. Now let's have a little walk around the old town and get more impressions. And for anyone who wants to dive deeper into the rich history of Schaffhausen, can visit the Allerheiligen Museum. The museum tells the story of Schaffhausen, from its earliest settlement to the rise as a wealthy medieval trading hub, through the severe disruption of its trade that was brought by shifting trade routes, and through the waves of industrialization that shaped the city into what it is today. After exploring Schaffhausen's history and its old town, it's time to experience some local life. Every Saturday, the weekly market fills the streets with colors, scents and sounds. It's a lively place where people come to shop fresh produce. And it's also the perfect place to soak in the town's community spirit.
Nein, ist gut. Ich habe nur etwas zum Bunken, der vorbeigeht. Also, einen schönen Tag. Ciao. Ja,
Another wonderful market experience is the Puure Märkt, which is organized by local farmers and promotes community connections in a welcoming atmosphere.
Wir sind ein Verein von Bauern. Wir haben zusammen diese Markthalle. Jeder hat den eigenen Verkaufsstand.
Here, local farmers sell their products directly, offering a delightful variety of seasonal produce as well as home canned goods. Visitors can find local honey, seasoned jams, farm fresh meats and smoked meats, dairy products and much more. This market also boasts a tempting selection of freshly baked artisan breads, rolls, biscuits and pastries. This thing here is called Fleischkäse, classic in this region. It's finely ground mix of beef and pork, baked like a loaf until the top turns golden brown. It is usually served warm in a bun or simply sliced. Let's see what it tastes like directly from the producer. It's a little bit bouncy in texture, somewhere between a sausage and meatloaf. Overall, it was a nice market experience, but how do locals pronounce the name of this market?
Munot Fortress.
Schaffhausen Puure Märkt. Okay. Perfect. At noon, the Saturday market came to an end. The farmers packed up and left. After those markets, we stopped by a local cafe, as we were told to try the Schaffhausen Zungen. The name means Schaffhausen tongs because of their shape. They are light, crispy and very sweet. As you might have noticed by now, unlike many other Swiss towns, Schaffhausen doesn't have a lake. So when it comes to cooling off and swimming, locals turn to the Rhine River. The Swiss part of the Rhine River is fairly clean as it starts right here in Switzerland. Later it passes through France, Germany and the Netherlands where it gets more polluted, so it's perfect for swimming here. And I've noticed there are 3 popular spots where you can have a dip in the cool water during summer, and one of the spots is right here. Close to the train bridge Feuertal, you have this nice place directly by the river. And if you get thirsty or hungry, there are several places to get a quick snack. Here I also found this mysterious thing, and I didn't see a sign, so I couldn't figure out what it is. If you know, please write in the comment section. The second popular spot for a swim in the river seems to be right here in the park close to the water power plant. I hope they know that there is a waterfall. And third, probably the most beloved place for a summer dip, is the Riverside. Floating gently on the Rhine, this historic river pool has been part of local life for over a century. With its wooden structure and direct access to flowing water, the Riverside is a very unique spot. Unfortunately, I'm not wearing swimming pants, so I won't be able to go. After the buzz of the busy town, you might want to see a quieter and more authentic side of Schaffhausen. So I left the crowds behind and headed into a residential neighborhood to get a glimpse of how people actually live here. These neighborhoods don't call much attention to themselves, they're quiet and well organized. Most people live here in modest yet comfortable homes. The buildings are practical, the space is well maintained, and there's a strong sense of order and care. Schaffhausen isn't particularly known for extreme wealth, but that doesn't mean it lacks prosperity. The local economy supports a very solid middle and upper middle class. Compared to cities like Zurich and Zug, incomes are a bit lower, but so is the cost of living. It creates a balance that many residents value. In areas where kids play in the streets, they place these triangle-shaped signs so that cars drive by carefully. Everything feels very organized and safe. Here I found this little self-service shop set up by a local artisan who sells small handmade bags and wallets. You simply take whatever you like and send the payment per smartphone. There's a huge sense of trust in this community. Not far from there, the Stahlgießerei district offers a unique side of the town. It's the former steel foundry of Georg Fischer, active from about 1912 until its closure in 1991. And now they developed an apartment complex out of it. Take a look. In 2017, redevelopment began to transform the site into a forward-looking district while honoring its industrial legacy. Inside preserved steel halls now lies a 300-meter-long garden, a calm spine for a community of about 1,000 residents. I'm starting to like this place. There's not many people outside, but it has a very interesting industrial vibe. For most of the 20th century, this place powered the city. Thousands worked here, casting iron, forging parts for growing industrial Switzerland. This is a living reminder of how industry once shaped this town. Look at these rusty poles. Imagine how much history they have. that's the industrial spirit right here in Schaffhausen. Unfortunately, I didn't see many people outside. Is it a ghost town today? Where is everyone? Maybe the old town, let's go back there. Just above the rooftops of Schaffhausen, on a hill close to nature, there is a place with a strange name. I think it's called Säcklandshusli. So let's go and visit this place. This place looks like the perfect escape from everything, or just a nice place for a picnic or a small barbecue celebration. And here you have a simple fireplace for grilling your steak, and the steaks themselves are not too far away. Despite this idyllic atmosphere, it's not easy to find. Later we met some locals and we asked them about this place. They were really surprised that we know about it. But it might be the best place to admire the landscape around Schaffhausen, which is peaceful and picturesque, with rolling hills, quiet vineyards and small towns nestled between forests and fields. And just a short train ride away, you will find the famous Rhine Falls. The calm and winding river suddenly turns wild, crashing over a wide limestone ledge with incredible force. At 150 meters wide and 23 meters tall, these falls are the largest waterfall in Europe. The falls that we see today are the result of a dramatic geological story that began over 14,000 years ago, at the end of the last ice age. The falls formed where the hard limestone bedrock meets softer sandstone, creating a natural step in the river's course. This is the Laufen Castle and it's perched right above the Rhine Falls. It offers stunning views from several platforms built into the rock it stands on, an ideal spot to take in the full power of the falls. Let's visit it. As glaciers melted and retreated, vast torrents of meltwater carved through the landscape, reshaping valleys and cliffs with incredible force. This process is still ongoing. Slowly the falls are retreating upstream, a gradual journey that will continue for millennia to come. In this way, the Rhine Falls are not just a breathtaking sight, they are living, evolving landscape shaped by ice, water and time. Usually these boats give you a gentle splash, but for her it was rather a proper shower. Let's go further down to see the Rhine Falls up close. There's something magnetic about that rock in the middle of the Rhine Falls. It stands firm above the rushing water as a silent witness to centuries of nature's power. Visiting it feels like connecting with the raw energy and timeless beauty of this place. Let's go up there. Take a look at how clear this water is. Reaching the rock in the middle of the Rhine Falls is a nice experience. After a short boat ride across the churning water, you climb a narrow staircase carved into the stone. And the higher you get, the busier the stairs become. At the top, you're completely immersed, water crushing on all sides and wind in your face. It's very loud. After experiencing the power of the Rhine Falls, I was ready for a quieter and more relaxed location. How about ending the day with a few drinks in a bar with an incredible view? And this brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button or subscribe for more adventures. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.